Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes. Today is day 29 of Read the Bible in a Year. We are reading Exodus chapter 20. No, we are reading Exodus chapters 33 through 35. If you want to follow along in the scriptures, we're on page 93. Let's get to it. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Come, go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Mitzrayim, to the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, to your seed I give it. And I shall send my messenger from before you, and I shall drive out the Canaanite, and the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, to a land flowing with milk and honey. For I do not go up in your midst, because you are a stiff-necked people, lest I consume you on the way." And when the people heard this evil word, they mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Say to the children of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. Should I go up in your midst for one moment? I shall consume you. And now take off your ornaments, and I shall know what to do to you." So the children of Israel took off their ornaments at Mount Horeb. And Moshe took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tent of appointment. And it came to be that everyone who sought Yahweh went out to the tent of appointment, which was outside the camp. And it came to be, whenever Moshe went out to the tent, that all the people rose, and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moshe until he entered the tent. And it came to be, when Moshe entered the tent, that the column of the cloud descended on and stood at the door of the tent, and he spoke with Moshe. And all the people saw the column of the cloud standing at the tent door, and all the people rose and bowed themselves, each one at the door of his tent. Thus Yahweh spoke to Moshe face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. And he would return to the camp, but his servant Yehoshua, son of Nun, a young man, did not leave the tent. And Moshe said to Yahweh, "See, you are saying to me, bring up this people. But you have not made known to me whom you would send with me, though you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found favor in my eyes. And now, please, if I have found favor in your eyes, please show me your way, and let me know you, so that I find favor in your eyes, and consider that this nation is your people." He said, "My presence does go, and I shall give you rest." And he said to him, "If your presence is not going, do not lead us up from here. For how then shall it be known that I have found favor in your eyes, and I and your people, except you go with us? Then we shall be distinguished, I and your people, from all the people of the earth who are upon the face of the earth." And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Even this word you have spoken I shall do, for you have found favor in my eyes, and I know you by name." Then he said, "Please show me your esteem." And he said, "I shall cause my goodness to pass before you, and I shall proclaim the name of Yahweh before you, and I shall favor him whom I favor, and shall have compassion on him whom I have compassion." But he said, "You are unable to see my face, for no man does see me and live." And Yahweh said, "See, there is a place with me, and you shall stand on the rock. And it shall be, while my esteem passes by, that I shall put you in the cleft of the rock, and cover you with my hand while I pass by. And I shall take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen." Chapter 34. And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I shall write on these tablets the words which were on the first tablets which you broke. And be ready in the morning. Then you shall come up in the morning to Mount Sinai, and present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. And let no man come up with you, and let no man be seen in all the mountain, and let not even the flock or the herd feed in front of that mountain." And he cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and Moshe rose early in the morning and went up to Mount Sinai as Yahweh had commanded him. As Yahweh had commanded him, and he took 2 tablets of stone in his hand, and Yahweh came down in the cloud and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name Yahweh. And Yahweh passed before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, and El, compassionate and showing favor, patient and great in loving commitment and truth, watching over loving commitment for thousands, forgiving crookedness and transgression and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers upon the children and the children's children to the third and the fourth generation. And Moshe hurried and bowed himself towards the earth and did obeisance, and said, If now I have found favor in your eyes, O Yahweh, I pray let Yahweh go on in our midst, even though we are a stiff-necked people, and forgive our crookedness and our sin, and take us as your inheritance. And he said, See, I am making a covenant before all your people. I am going to do wonders such as have not been done in all the earth, nor any nation. And all people among whom you are shall see the work of Yahweh, for what I am doing with you is awesome. Guard what I command you today. See, I am driving out from before you the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Hittite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Guard yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going, lest there be a snare in your midst. But break down their slaughter places and smash their pillars and cut down their Asherim. For you do not bow yourself to another mighty one. For Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous El. He is a jealous God. Verse 15, Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they whore after their mighty ones, and slaughter to their mighty ones, and one of them invites you, and you eat of his slaughterings, and you take of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whore after their mighty ones, and make your sons whore after their mighty ones. Do not make a molded mighty one for yourself. Guard the festival of Matzot. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, in the appointed time of the new moon Abib, because in the new moon of Abib you came out from Mitzrayim. Everyone opening the womb is mine, and every male firstborn among your livestock, whether bull or sheep. But the firstborn of a donkey you ransom with a lamb, and if you do not ransom, then you shall break his neck. Every firstborn of your sons you shall ransom, and they shall not appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you work, but on the 7th day you rest. In plowing time and in harvest you rest. And perform the festival of Shavuot for yourself, of the first fruits of wheat, harvest, and a festival of ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times in the year all your men are to appear before the Master Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel. For I dispossess the nations before you, and shall enlarge your borders, and let no one covet your land when you go up to appear before Yahweh your Elohim 3 times in a year. Do not slay the blood of my slaughtering with leaven, and do not let the slaughtering of the festival of Passover, or Pesach, remain until morning. Bring the first of the first fruits of your land to the house of Yahweh your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Write these words, for according to the mouth of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. He was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights, and he did not eat bread, and he did not drink water, and he wrote on tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 words. And it came to be when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai, while 2 tablets of the witness were in Moshe's hand, when he came down from the mountain, that Moshe did not know that the skin of his face shone since he had spoken with him. And Aaron and the children of Israel looked at Moshe and saw the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moshe called out to them, and Aaron and the rulers of the congregation returned to him, and Moshe spoke to them. And afterward all the children of Israel came, and he commanded them all that Yahweh had spoken with him on the Mount Sinai. And when Moshe ended speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But whenever Moshe went in before Yahweh to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out, he spoke to the children of Israel what he had been commanded. And the children of Israel would see the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone, and Moshe would put a veil on his face again until he went in to speak with him. Chapter 35. And Moshe assembled all the congregation of the children of Israel and said to them, These are the words which Yahweh commanded you to do. Work is done for 6 days, but on the seventh day it shall be set apart to you in a Sabbath of rest to Yahweh. Anyone doing work on it is put to death. Do not kindle a fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day. And Moshe spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, This is the word which Yahweh commanded, saying, Take from among you a contribution to Yahweh, everyone whose heart so moves him. Let him bring it as a contribution to Yahweh, gold and silver and bronze and blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skins dyed red, and fine leather and acacia wood, and oil for the light, and spices for the anointing oil, and sweet incense, and shoham stones, and stones to be set in the shoulder garment and in the breastplate. And let all the wise-hearted among you come and make all that Yahweh has commanded. The dwelling place, its tent and its covering, its hooks and its boards, its bars and its columns and its sockets, the arcs and its poles, the lid of atonement and the veil of the covering, the table and its poles and all its utensils and the showbread, and the lampstand for the light and its utensils and its lamps, and the oil for the light and the incense slaughter and its poles and the anointing oil and the sweet incense and the covering for the door at the entrance of the dwelling place. The slaughter place of ascending offering, with its bronze grating, its poles and all its utensils, and the basin and its stand, the screens of the courtyard, its columns and their sockets, and the covering for the gate of the courtyard, the pegs of the dwelling place, and the pegs of the courtyard, and their cords, and the woven garments to do service in the set apart place, and the set apart garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to serve as priests. And all the congregation of the children of Israel withdrew from the presence of Moshe, and everyone whose heart lifted him up, and everyone whose spirit moved him came, and they brought the contribution to Yahweh for the work of the tent of appointment, for all its service, and for the set apart garments. And they came, both men and women, all whose hearts moved them, and brought earrings and nose rings, and the rings and necklaces, and all golden goods, even everyone who made a wave offering of gold to Yahweh. And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and rams, and skins, and dyed red, and fine leather, brought them. Everyone who would make a contribution to Yahweh of silver or bronze brought it, and everyone with whom was found acacia wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the wise-hearted women spun yarn with their hands, and brought what they had spun, the blue and the purple and the scarlet material and the fine linen, and all the women whose hearts lifted them up in wisdom spun the goat's hair. And the rulers brought shoham stones, and the stones to be set apart on the shoulder garment in the breastplate, and the spices and the oil for the light, and the anointing oil and for sweet incense. The children of Israel brought a voluntary offering to Yahweh, all the men and women whose hearts moved them to bring all kinds of work which Yahweh by the hand of Moshe had commanded to be done. And Moshe said to the children of Israel, See, Yahweh is called by name Betzalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, and he has filled him with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom and understanding and in knowledge and in all work to make designs to work in gold and silver and bronze, and in cutting of stones for setting and carving wood, and to work in all workmanship of design. And he has put in his heart the ability to teach. In him and Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, he has filled them with skill to do all work of the engraver and the designer and embroiderer in blue and in purple and in scarlet material and in fine linen, and a weaver doing any work and makers of designs. And tomorrow we begin chapter 36. Shalom.